Welcome to Simply Caroline, a podcast dedicated to women empowerment where we will discuss a bunch of different subjects such as life, parenting, love, business, money, relationships, healing, recovery, addiction, entrepreneurship, and so much more. A podcast I'll do my best to keep simple, fun, and relatable and bring you tools to help you better your life. So thank you for being here. And here's your host, myself, Caroline Blanchard. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Thank you for being with us again this week. And I want to start by wishing you a super happy 2024. It's crazy to think that we're in 2024. Time flies by so fast. And I'm starting the year with one of my favorite people, the person I love to start the year with, usually Waymatea Ellis. How are you?
Hello, my friend. I'm excellent. How are you?
I'm doing really good. Thank you.
Good.
And a new year again. It feels like not so long ago we were like happy 2023.
I know. I feel like I don't even remember that. I just feel like I remember happy 2019. And then that
Okay.
everything else is just blurred out.
Yeah, it went fast, eh? It's
Yeah,
apparently the older you get, the faster it goes.
I know.
I used to laugh at that. Now I'm starting to think it's scary.
Yes, it really is. And it feels unfair because it's like I want to enjoy it more now and it's just flying by. It's a
Mm-mm.
different feeling.
So Waymatea, there's so much that I could say about you, but basically Way is a Juno nominee award. She's an amazing musician. She's a mom of two beautiful daughters that she homeschooled. She is a network marketer. She's an entrepreneur. Way, keep going.
Yeah, it's a lot of things. When I start listing them, I feel like I should have a trench coat and just go, all of this. But this last year, I did start a new career. It's been about a year and a quarter that I got my life insurance license. So I'm doing that now from home, which was a big pivot after
Yes.
stopping some of my other ventures when COVID hit.
Yeah, and you're being super successful.
Yeah, I love it. And I mean, there's so much growth here. Like I feel like I'm at the beginning of a big journey still. But it's rewarding. It's the same type of work. Like I love people. I love learning about people and listening and really hearing what they're saying and then offering solutions. Like it's all the things I love so much, just a completely different field. Um, I heard someone call it noble work. And I was like, I actually feel that. And I don't think I would have understood that before doing it.
Yes, well, let's start with that. You did a big pivot in 2023,
Yeah.
and we get to an age at some point that we get comfortable in whatever we're doing. And even if we're not 100% happy, we're like, well, you know what? It's like that's what I know, that's what I'm comfortable in. So
Mhm.
how did that go for you? Because, well, I know how it went for you, but share with us, like, the courage that it took to actually do that pivot and
Mhm.
to, persevere in it and succeed in it.
Thank you. Yeah, I have to go back to 2022 when I had been um in a mentor session with one of my network marketing leaders who you know very well, and he was like, "Wait, I want you to start looking for a job. Like, look for a job. Like, because I was trying to pull together all these pieces of like, well, I can do this and that, but they were not certain. They were just events, and if they filled up I'd be okay for a month and a half, and then what after that. So he was like, well, I think it would be way more sexy if you actually were like having a thriving stable income. So I went online and just googled like how to make money online and applied for 10 jobs, and then the next time I talked to him he's like, okay, apply for 10 more. And by then I was doing Uber Eats and DoorDash and like just doing things in the meantime to just pivot my brain, like what can I do. And then one of the ads was answered. The lady who called me is somebody I knew from the direct selling business that I was already in. and she was hiring for this job. So this is a union job. I interviewed, got the job, and then had to do the test. And I haven't been in university since 1997. It was very, very hard. Did it, felt awesome that I finished it all, and then started the journey of learning how to do this job. And I turned 50 last year. So it's different learning at 50, steep learning curve than it was learning at 21. It's just different. And it required a lot of skills that I had acquired through network marketing: thick skin, make the calls, don't worry about the result, get into activity, every day be steady. So those skills really helped me, put me a little bit ahead of the curve in terms of getting going. And then, like you saw, like last year, I earned a trip to Iceland in the company as the top rookie in my category. I still do not know.
Congratulations.
I didn't even know. I was like, on a meeting with my boss, he's like, have you checked your email? Okay, I'll check my email. And there it was. It's just, it's neat to see the concepts that we learned from people like Jeff Olson, who just says, just do the do, just do it. And then what will come is what most people weren't willing or able or didn't know to do. Just do. And then there's a result. So it's been very cool and very rewarding to have a culmination of all those skills and then find success, and even in leadership now. So it's exciting. I love it.
I know, I'm excited for you. And you said one crucial thing, and you mentioned one person that I absolutely love as well, Jeff Olson.
Mm-hmm.
You know, do.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you're, and it's kind of like part of our subject today too, like how to set your 2024 properly.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking about, you know, setting it with love. Well, in pre-interview, we were talking about that, setting it with love. But the first thing that you can do if you really love yourself is to be disciplined, because, you know, when we tell ourselves, like, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that, and we don't do it, we let
Mm-hmm.
ourselves down.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the things that I admire with you, is you do the do, like, even when you don't want to. Where do you find this strength? And, you know, maybe talk about your daily routine, because I know that this is a huge thing for you as well. And yeah, I think that it's something that could benefit a lot of people listening.
Yeah, thank you. That is exactly it. If I could say there's one thing that helped me through, and there are days when I don't do the do, just to be totally honest with your listeners, being a human means just doing my best. It's one of the 4 agreements. I'm just going to do my best. But for the most part, I do the do. And it's because I have a very non-negotiable, solid morning routine. And that it always includes at least 15 minutes of a guided meditation, nothing special, just I'll go on YouTube. I have a few favorites that I'll do every morning. And then it changes a little bit over time, but I definitely have some sort of affirmations or affirming words. Lately I've been doing some Tibetan 5 rites, which is a body movement, which I feel like I incorporate into prayer. But the very foundation of it all is breath and space and setting my intention for the morning. So that might be journaling, that might be breath work, some Wim Hof breath work, or it might be even a cold shower. Today I went out and I stood in the snow I counted to 30, and in my bare feet I stood in the snow just to get grounded. There are just certain, I'll do at least 4 or 5 of those things every single day. And even in the times when my kids and I were me single parenting, and it was really, really, really rough, so stressful. I was still using alcohol as medicine. I was just struggling. Not one day did I miss my meditation. I just had it. Even if I had only slept for 2 hours, I'd wake up and I'd turn on my Abraham Hicks 15 minutes and I would just breathe every single day. And that's how I feel like I found friends like you. And that's how I think I came across people like Jeff Olson. And now this insurance job, like I can just see the universe just kind of shored up for the continuous affirmation of life, because I've been on the other side of what it feels like to not want to be continuing, not want to be alive, literally. And so the risk is really high for me. I have to work really hard at mindset and heart set. So I could just give people one piece of advice to invite them to just have one practice that's non-negotiable, that opens up the heart in the morning and brings you into your body. That would be it.
That's actually my goal for 2024, meditate. We all know that I've said it quite a few times, but for me, it's very stressful to just sit there. But I've seen so many benefits to it that, it's something that you have to be disciplined and just do it. And you don't have to meditate for 15 minutes. Like for me, when you say 15 minutes, it's like if you would tell me like sit for 2 weeks, but 5 minutes. And, I guess that when you get there, then you can start increasing. But what we're saying, the essence here is just to have a routine that really grounds you and helps you set your intentions for the day. That's so important. I fell into a period of, probably for a month or two until I realized, like, what am I doing? I stopped doing all my little morning rituals and I would wake up and just look at my phone. Yeah. And I would let my texts and my emails guide how my day would start. So when you start that way, you start stressed and, it's not a good way to start. You start with reacting to everything that is happening around you. And thank God that I don't watch the news. But I know a lot of people, what they do is they'll open their phone and they watch the news. So let's talk a bit about this.
Yeah. That is the very difference between being the master or queen of my life or allowing myself to be guided by outside forces, which I don't even know are coming. It's like opening up the fortress gates with my eyes closed. Why would it? I understand that people want to be informed, or it's also a habit because everything is a habit. So whatever hormones shoot up high for you, whatever neuronal patterns are comfortable and practiced and familiar, that might be like, well, that's the thing I like. Yeah, well, I'm going to challenge that because there are other things to do first, which is to be the queen or king or master of my life. So when I open my thing to the news, I don't know what happened last night. So I'm just sort of opening it up to, well, whatever it is, bring it on without fortifying myself first. Oh my gosh. I'm a social studies teacher first. That was my major a long time ago. I graduated as a teacher. I did 15 years of teaching. It's not that I don't like to know what's going on in the world. That's not it. I just need to be the one who is dictating what's going on in my world first so that I can be of service and at all good for others around me. So,
and you said it well, build your fortress around you before letting everything hit you.
Yeah. Yeah. And the fortress can be a cloud of beautiful, essential oils, or it doesn't have to be so. Maybe people find that a violent way of looking at it. No, it's more like hey, I'm going to make sure I'm good so that I can be in the world the best way that I can be for others in service or whatever a person does. Some people have such stressful jobs. What an amazing difference it might make to be 20 minutes. Even you said it earlier, 5 minutes. Abraham Hicks has always said 68 seconds. So 17 seconds of holding no thought, add to 17, that's 68 seconds of that is all the universe needs to shift everything for you. Just suspending thought or holding a tone or looking at a candle. So it's the power of being connected overcomes all of the rest of it by a huge ratio. It doesn't take much, but it's so necessary. It's so necessary.
No, and you're talking connecting with yourself. And in our world now, when we say be connected, we all think like our little device and, everything else. But I think that we lost somewhere into that we need to be connected to ourselves. And that's pretty crucial. So I'm going to challenge everyone that is listening, if you spend a part of the year with me, let's all do meditation together, but I'm not going to do it on my podcast. But let's pretend at night or in the morning when we do our meditation that we're doing it together. And it's like I said, it's going to take discipline for most of us, but what I've seen is that people who actually use discipline to do it at first, then it becomes almost a need, and it becomes something that becomes non-negotiable. And like I would never imagine Way not meditating, basically, because it's in her DNA now. It's like she has to do it. So besides the meditation, we're talking about love here, because every time I think of you, I think love, because you're just like emanating love, and you have an aura of love, and you just love helping people. And it's just, I'm thinking about my daughter who always screams to her boyfriend, "I love you." So, but that's way too, in old videos we can see her doing the same thing.
That's true.
But how to set up your intentions at the beginning of a year into love?
As I look up at my dream board right here, like right in the top of it is follow your heart. So what does that mean, right? That's a very lofty thing. Follow your heart. Well, for me, the easiest way is to just breathe into my heart. Tony Robbins says that in a lot of his meditations or his breath works. He's like, breathe into your heart. And it's an abstract ask, but for some reason, children understand that. Adults might have forgotten it, but just breathing to your heart space. And then I always say, like, bring it down after you've breathed in here, breathe it down into your belly, because the heart and the belly, I mean, all of this, right, is a part of how centered I feel, how grounded I feel. And maybe for some people, and I've worked with people who are like, I don't even know what you're talking about, how to access that. What are you talking about? It's a funny thing, but you'll know when you get there. And if you just trust and pretend, that I pretend I know how to breathe into my heart. Okay, I'm going to pretend. A little secret that I did even when I was a teenager, is I would just walk up to like at a store, and I'd just say to the clerk in my head, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. And I just picture like light around them. Sometimes I picture like wings attached to people. Like I have a very vivid imagination, but even you and I have been in airports together, and I'm like, if we're kind of in a bit of a, hey, how are we going to manage this? Like our luggage, do we need to check? Oh, I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you, to the person managing things. Or the plane, before I get on, I'm like, I love you. Thank you. And just having this practice, nobody has to know that you're doing it, although everybody will know that you're doing it, even though you're not saying it. It changes your frequency, and there's far too much science to show us how the frequency affects us, immunity wise, mental health wise, physically, frequency. And the frequency is to trust that universal language of love to be the only, that's authentically loving, is just practicing. And if it's hard for you to love the clerk, love the puppies, love the birds, love the trees, love the earth, find something to love. A lot of people will go into the mirror and do these reflection exercises. I think those are tough, and they're not a place to, I don't think they're the best place to start, because it's very hard for people to look in the mirror for the very first time, like, I love you, and feel it. Why not practice on things that are easy, like little puppy, like, I love you. There's the feeling. And then it's like, oh, I want to massage that into the other aspects of my life. So, and one more thing I'll add to this is that some people might think, while I'm saying this makes me weak. Now I'm open to, I'm vulnerable, and now I'm that people might take my kindness for weakness, take advantage of me. As I said earlier, no one even has to know you're doing it. But and we use this word again, fortification there is around someone who's just emanating love. There's almost like a bubble there that it goes out, but it's not permeable as anger. Anger leaves a person very, very vulnerable, because anger is, now I've lost control and I'm just blah. And then there's tons of space for people to come in and hurt me. Not if I'm loving them. And so that practice is powerful, and you really get to access your royal, beautiful, you are entitled to this powerful self, through love. So that's a long answer, but I'm
Yeah, well,
passionate about this.
it's a good answer. And I
Yeah.
did put you on the spot because I just threw you the question. But
Yeah.
yes, I was thinking about that like while you were talking about some people in my life, and I'm like, I'm not sure I could say that, but like you said, it's internal and you say it to yourself. And I think that, it is a beautiful place to be, because you will by default be happier, because
Mhm.
you stop seeing the bad in everything and you start seeing the love and the good in everything, which,
Mhm.
also goes with gratitude. How often do we hear like, be grateful and write your gratitudes?
Mhm.
And there are some mornings that I get up and I don't feel like it.
Mhm.
And I'm like, what am I grateful for? I have a cold. I didn't sleep enough.
Yeah.
You think about all of that. But I always say, if you're able to think about it, or if you're able to write it or hold a pen, well, it does mean that you did wake up that morning, you're breathing, you're healthy enough to do that stuff. If you write it, you learn how to write. Like, there's so many things to be grateful for.
Mhm.
So really always go back to, the basic, and think about these things. And that's, I think it's like, it's hand in hand with love. It goes
Yeah.
together. So Wei, I'm going to ask you now to talk about, because you do something that I admire of you as well. And, you're just like this little fairy who has her circles, and you help tons of people feel better. Talk about your circles. What is
Mm.
it exactly, and what's going on in the circles?
Yeah. Yeah. So I've been running circles, honestly, since I taught school. One of my very first teaching assignment was to teach high school social studies and Native studies in grade 10 and 11. And my resources were First Nations elders who were very generous and came in and helped me to know some things about how and what I was doing. And one of the things that we did, which was beautiful, which was we had circle talk. So this was like late 90s. And since then, I always wanted to do that kind of thing with my classroom. So even when I moved on to different teaching assignments, I would always even organize my classroom in a way that was like everybody's sort of in. No one's at the back, no one's at the front. It's just sort of an in,
Hmm.
like a womb, like everybody come in and be welcome, or go off to the side if you want to. You're welcome to do that too, but just all. And so over the years that evolved. And then when I did my ministry training, a lot of it was all circles. So we learned some protocols to keep circle spaces safe. And essentially what a circle is a place where everybody is sharing or doesn't, but is welcome to share. The very ancient practice of circles would have been around like fire, right? So our DNA knows that fire, it means I'm in community, I'm gonna get probably fed, I'll be warm, I'll be safe from predators. Like that's a very, very old thing that all of us know. Somewhere in our ancestry, we have circled up. And so everybody has this really cool feeling when they're in circle. I don't know anybody who doesn't have that like recognition somehow, like, oh, we're gonna circle. So it's evolved now over time, and for the last, I guess it's been wow, maybe a little bit over 13, 14 years, or a little bit longer, that I've been having on purpose circles, inviting people to come and be in a sharing circle. They're confidential, minor non-coaching circles. So when people come, as the facilitator, I'll bring a topic to the group, and we'll have a way everybody gets to have their chance to share how they're doing in their lives, and also their feedback on the topic or what it makes them think about, we'll do a meditation. Sometimes we'll do journaling. And then everybody kind of goes away with perhaps a new tool to, like meditation or breathing or visualization or grounding. And what I find that most feedback that I get from people that come to Circle is that they actually have never experienced in their life a place where they can share and not have someone jump in on solving it or giving feedback on it. And although that feels counterintuitive and maybe a little bit strange, like, how am I going to share my whole thing? And then everybody's just like, thank you for sharing, and then moving on. There's this huge relief that people feel because they haven't had to brace for what the feedback's going to be. It's just, I've said it, it's now in the fire, transformed. I'm a different person because I've shared it. And nobody's calling me on it, telling me what book to read or what course I should take, or that I have a past life issue or, karma or whatever they're saying. So there's a freedom and beauty in that non-judgment space that I find is very, very healing. And so we do have Circle. I have a Joyful Being Sacred Fire. It's called every Sunday. And right now, we're starting a new year. So we've got lots of, every month I'll have a theme and kind of moves through the seasons. And it's all on Zoom. It's all in virtual, which I shifted about 6 months before the pandemic started. I moved everything online. I just had a weird dream one night and it was like, move it all online. So I did. So people from all over can join and enjoy that non-judgmental space.
That's actually like very powerful and healing. I know what you mean, just because I've never really done support groups for, addictions or whatever. I've done one or two, but I know how many people, I know tons of people go there, and that's exactly what they go there for, is to share without being judged. And, because like you said, once you put it out there and you're not expecting feedback to hit you back in the face, because otherwise when you share something, you're always like, okay, I know that so-and-so will say this, so-and-so will say that, they're going to tell me to read a book, they're going to tell me this, they're going to tell me that. And sometimes we just want to get it out in a safe place. So, and that's what you provide basically. And I know I've heard like only good things about your circles. Where can people reach you at, Way?
So on Instagram, I'm just at Waymatea, I believe. And then on Facebook, Waymatea Ellis. And also the Facebook group is, I can maybe send you the link for the Facebook.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm going to put the link with the podcast.
Awesome.
But basically, follow Waymatea on Instagram and on Facebook. It's just like, it's uplifting to follow her. It's always positive, surrounded with love. And, she offers a lot of different tools throughout as well. So, and my dogs are barking in the back and they feel the love.
Hello, puppies.
Exactly. I'm going to be looking at them after being saying, I love you.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. So Way, thank you so much for being with us today. I told you many times, but when I do big events or when I launched my podcast or now when I launch a new year, you're a rock for me. And it's always so good to have you. You bring strength to people. I've seen it, not just with me, I've seen it with a lot of people. You are absolutely amazing and I love you. And thank you for being here. And I wish you only the best for 2024.
Thank you. I love you so much. And congratulations on all of your success with your podcast and your books and your community that you build. And you inspire me. I hope that you know that. And I just absolutely cherish you as my friend.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you to everyone who listened to this revelations. No, thank you everyone for being here this week. If you want to reach Waymatea Ellis, I'm going to put all of her information, and otherwise I will see you next week. Thank you.